And I know we're waiting for some more people to hop on, but we'll go ahead and get started since it's 10 a.m. our time. I'm so excited to have Leslie join us. I've now seen Leslie twice. I went to Atlanta in August, I think it was, and I left that room like changed that day. And it became my mission to get Leslie to come to Raleigh. So Jamie and I decided to, join forces and have her come. And that was just having that leaders dinner the night before was so empowering, so, inspirational. It really has changed things for me and getting my mindset and my vision ready. So I know that this is going to be an amazing group for all of us. I'm super, super excited. A little background about Leslie. Leslie has been in the field of direct selling for over 20 years. She worked for another health and wellness company. And then she went on to work for Rodan and Fields, and I don't remember your specific title, but I know she did a lot of training and field development for them. And so she has a lot of experience on both ends. She knows what it's like to be where we are, and she knows what it's like to come from a corporate point of view as well. Leslie is an amazing motivational speaker. She's spoken all over the world, written several different books, and just really shares about working on your vision, working on your mindset, and getting everything in alignment. So I know that this is going to be an amazing advanced leaders course, and we're super excited to have you.
Thank you, Stacy. I'm super excited to be here. And good morning, everybody. Thanks for making the time. This is the beginning of a 6-week class. And what I want to do, because I have a lot of information, you're going to find every week there's just going to be a lot of information, which is great. We want to have high value, and it's not just going to be me chatting, and we're going to have a lot of interaction as well. This is why we decided together we wanted this to be Zoom on purpose, even though we all know what it's like to come to the desk on a camera first thing in the morning. But hey, we all have the self-esteem to live up to this. So let me just do a little bit of housekeeping real quick, and this is the only call I'm going to do that. You're going to notice, like today, we're going to start on time. We're going to always start right on time. I value your time. I value my time. And even though this is being recorded, Stacy's only sending it to the people in the class. She has the current class list. So I want us to know that this is really a safe environment for all of us to speak our mind. I want to speak my mind. I want you to speak your mind. It'd be pretty silly to have this wonderful collaborative group and not share what's on your mind. Like, this is leader to leader. So we're going to get into conversations about candid conversations, working with people, building teams, things that frustrate us, things that excite us, all about leadership. So I want to set the groundwork right now that I really want your participation. I want you to feel comfortable speaking your mind, because nothing's going to be repeated or it's not going anywhere else. And so with that in mind, the replay is for your eyes only. When Stacy sends out the replay, this isn't something to send to your team. This isn't something to send to people who wanted to be in the course but couldn't be in the course. Well, they're not in the course. So this is for you and you only. If you come up with, if there's certain topics, like maybe I start on a topic and you're thinking, wow, I wish you'd go in this direction. I want you to raise your hand and bring it up. I can go in any direction. I can spin on a dime, and I'm here for you. And I'm very conscious of that. I'm here for you, not for me. So, or if at the end of a class, you're thinking about the class later in the week, you think, gosh, I really wish you'd talk about this. Just send me an email. You all have my personal email, and I'm happy to add any topic to our agenda, right? And what we'll find will be the case is on Mondays, I'll send out a reminder email reminding you about our next call and what the agenda is going to be about. And that would be a perfect opportunity for you to respond back if you want to add any topics. All right. Is there any questions before we start? Okay. Oh, and some of you are going to want to know how to find me. So just real quickly, if you want more information, there's 3 places you can learn more. Number 1, you can go to my site, lesliezann.com. If you haven't already, you can become a Zann fan. I didn't think of that. The web guy did, but I think it's kind of cute. You can become a Zann fan. And the complimentary gift It's very, it's a companion topic to what we're talking about today. It's called Ignite Your Vision. And this is a free gift. It's video, audio, action steps. It's just a wonderful program to help you expand your vision. And, now's the perfect time that we should be thinking about expanding our vision for the year. The sun is coming up, so let me get that out of my eyes. If you haven't already, I have a Facebook site, lesliezann.com, or facebook.com/Leslie Zann Consulting. And this is a business site. This is not a personal site. So every week I post educational trainings. My blog is really a resource for your business. And then I'm also active on Instagram, if that's something that's fun for you. All right, I think we're going to jump right in. So, I know for many of you, we want to talk about language. We want to talk about your leadership style. We want to talk about how we lead. We want to talk about how we duplicate more leaders. Okay, and all these things are really important, and we're going to do all these things. But it's important for me that our first call today is that we start with the mindset. Because no matter how clear your vision, no matter how skilled you are, if your head is not in the game, there's really no point. And there is a mindset to leadership, I believe. And this is where we all move towards. And I've learned that leadership comes in two ways. It comes from experience, right? It comes from experience as you develop a team, as you begin working with more leaders. So it comes with experience. It also comes from, let me set this slide. It also comes from mentorship, right? Mentorship. Upline mentorship, cross-line mentorship, corporate mentorship, classes like this, right? So that's the beautiful thing about leadership. We have our experience as our teams grow, and then we surround ourselves with smart people, right? And you're going to have a lot of examples of leadership as you continue with your career. You're going to see it corporately. You're going to see it in your upline. You're going to see it at events as different leaders cross the stage. Your cross-line friends. You're going to have many examples of leadership. Sometimes you're going to look at the example, go, wow, I am going to be like that. Like, I want to incorporate that, or what she said, or how she acted, or how she responded. That's the type of leader I want to be. And sometimes you're going to see examples, and no judgment. You're going to see some examples, and you're going to go, I don't think I want to repeat that, right? Like, that's not me. That's not the way I want to lead. That's a great lesson for me. So it's not a lesson in judging other people. It's a lesson in, wow, isn't this beautiful that this person was put in my life to give me an example of perhaps ways I don't want to lead. And you're going to get a lot of those as well. And I think those gifts are just as special as the gifts when people set the example that we do want to emulate. So leadership, this whole idea around what I call defining your leadership style. Like, if I had to sum up this whole class, that's really what it's about. Who do you want to be? How do you want to walk through the world? How do you want to lead? It's not about being perfect. We're never going to be perfect. We're never going to be perfect, but we can be the best that we can be. We can be conscious of showing up on our terms and being the best that we can be. And that's all we can do. So if you're trying to be perfect, if you have a lot of negative self-talk, I don't know how to lead, I haven't lead, I don't say the right things, I don't lead the right way. I mean, try to, once you're aware of that, now it's time to put all that aside. It's not about being perfect. It's about just doing the best that we can do. And if you're doing the best that you can, three things always lead me personally. Here's, for whatever, this is a personal thing and you may resonate or not. Three things I try to live with. Number one, did I tell my truth? Right? Truth is a high core value for me. So number one, did I tell my truth? So as long as I'm telling my truth, that's the best I can do. Number two, did I live up to my commitments? Right? So if I say I'm going to be on that call at 10, I'm there on time. If I say I'm going to send her that note or that email or that agenda or whatever, or that contract, bam, I send it. If I say I'm going to do something, I'm going to do something. So do I live up to my commitments? If I say I'm going to do it, do I do it? And number three, do I do my best? I mean, this is kind of a code I do my best to live by. I do my best to tell my truth, live up to my commitments, and do my best. And hey, you know what? I sleep great at night. You know, that's all we can do. So kind of a high level about leadership. So I picked some topics that I think are going to be supportive for mindset. So this whole first segment today, we're going to talk about mindset, but not just mindset. Stacy and Jamie know I talk about mindset all the time, but I purposefully want to talk about mindset in terms of leadership, right? As we go into this beautiful journey of leading. And I know you have a big vision for 2017. And whatever size your team is now, it will grow as we go through 2017. And so this whole idea of the mindset of a leader, or what I call the posture, right? Posture, attitude of leadership. So I want to begin with, and you'll learn my training style. I'm going to tell you what I'm going to talk about to help you with your note taking. And when I shift topics, I'll let you know that. So this first topic, I want to talk about fears and limiting beliefs. I've done a lot of writing, a lot of thinking, a lot of personal self-evaluation, a lot of training. I have come to believe that these fears and limiting beliefs keep so many of us from reaching the level of success we desire. And not just in our business, but in our life, right? In our life. And you're going to find again that, yeah, I'm going to be talking about your Plexus business and everything I can to support you in being as successful as possible with your Plexus business. But a lot of this stuff transfers to life in general, right? The type of women we want to be. So fears and limiting beliefs. Have a program called Choose to be a Champion. And we took a poll from this large, robust, or direct selling organization and asked the field what were their top fears. And we got this list. Now there's more fears, but we got this list of these top 10 fears. I'm not going to go over all the top 10 fears, but some of the main fears, right? Fear of rejection. Like fear of rejection, I think, is one of those fears that stop so many people from moving forward, especially women. Why? Because we like everyone. We want everyone to like us, right? We want to make things right. We're the enablers. We're the moms. So when somebody tells us no, or this perception of rejection, in some cases, as you've noticed, I mean, not obviously for the leaders here, but as you're watching your team, or perhaps you're not going as fast as you could go because of this, we notice that depending on how strong this fear of rejection is, people don't take action. Or they start their business and someone they love, someone they know, someone that's important to them, told them no in such a way that now they're paralyzed and they're not going to talk to anybody else. Or they only talk to the people where it's easy, when it's safe, when it's comfortable. So as we know, they're not living up to those numbers, so they're not moving their business forward. Fear of rejection. So when we can embrace, when we can learn, this is mindset stuff, when we can really, not just intellectually understand, but emotionally buy into when someone tells us no about our products or our business, it is not a personal rejection. They're not saying no to Leslie. They're not saying no to Stacy. They're not saying no to Jamie. They're saying no to your products or your business. Now, intellectually, we can all say, well, that makes sense, but this is not always easy. And you'd have to figure out how easy this is for you, because nobody likes to be told no. And it does hurt our feelings. But if we can go, okay, so maybe that hurt my feelings, but it's not going to stop me from moving forward in my business. You know, I'm working on this presentation where I take this whole idea of fear of rejection and I'm superimposing it on my experience dating now at 57 for the first time since I was 22. And so this whole idea of rejection, and, you know, bottom line is if a guy doesn't dig me, that is not a reflection on me. That is not a reflection on me, the type of woman I am, how wonderful I am, how attractive I am, how smart I am, how wonderful, you know, whatever. And I've been working on this whole mindset. I feel so strongly that it's the same emotional component that keeps people from talking to people about their business, right? Someone tells them no, and they won't talk again. They won't ask again. They're afraid to have that feeling again. Hell, if I'm going to get that feeling, because I'm not going to dig every guy too, If I was going to let that stop me, I wouldn't be dating, which, that's not my choice. Same with you, with your business. If you're going to let every no paralyze you or slow you down, and this may or may not be for you, but it could be for the people you're working with. If you're going to let a no slow you down, that is a recipe for disaster. And that's I believe this is one of the main fears that keep people from moving forward. So I would just have you evaluate, how do you personally feel about rejection when someone tells you no? How easily do you let it move through you? You can feel the disappointment. I'm not saying denial. We can feel the disappointment, but can we turn it to where it strengthens us to pick up the phone and talk to more new people rather than paralyze us and keep us from moving forward? It's really interesting. Like, we could do a whole hour on fear of rejection, but we're not. So fear of rejection is one of the biggies. Fear of success. Now, I don't personally have that, but I have witnessed it. And I witnessed it. I had a gal in my team, boy, she got right up, like one level from the top, and then all of a sudden, bam, put on the brakes, wouldn't move forward, stop. I was too young and immature to know what I was looking at. I didn't realize, wow, Peggy's having fear of success. So I just kept trying to cheerlead her on. You can do it, you can do it, you can do it. I mean, there's nothing I could say to make her do it, right? She had a fear of success. So she stopped in that threshold, like one step, man, to the top of the plan, one step, and the whole thing would have blown open. Nope, she wasn't prepared for it. You may, or you will see someone on your team as you continue to grow that may experience a fear of success. And I want you to recognize it and understand it for what it is. And it comes from, who knows where it comes from, usually growing up, usually past experiences, a lot of lack of self-worth or self-deserve. See, the mindset we carry into this plays such a role in the success that we ultimately achieve. And so fear of success, I just would have you evaluate. Are you feeling a little bit of that? Right? Do you feel you deserve? Do you feel you deserve to be of those top leaders walking across the stage, making that kind of income? And you may be going, hell yeah, I do. Okay, so that's great. But then I want you watching those key leaders you're working with. Who gets off to a great start, then all of a sudden, bam, puts on the brakes. Perhaps, not always, but perhaps fear of success could be playing a role in that. And if you feel for you, you're having a little bit of fear of success, this is where you want to do a little bit of journaling. And you want to figure it out. Why do you have those feelings? Where is the lack of self-worth? Where is the lack of self-deserve coming from? This is why we have therapy. And I mean this sincerely. If you're aware, once we're aware of some mental aspect that's slowing us down, especially at our age, gals, 30s, 40s, 50s, once we're aware that this is happening to us, here's what I've come to believe. We have two choices. We can carry this baggage for the rest of our life, or we can journal it, think about it, talk about it, therapy it, and drop the baggage, right? Like, we don't have to carry this stuff forever. That's one of the beautiful things about doing self-development and personal development, is to be aware of these things so we don't have to carry this baggage forward. Okay, so fear of success. Another one, fear of letting the family down. Well, that's a big one for women. Not always for men, but that's a big one for women. Fear of letting the family down. Whew, here I am. Made this investment of time. Make this investment of money. Make this investment of travel. The hours I'm on the phone, right? And so for many women, this fear of letting the family down, they're always being torn, right? When you're doing your plexus business, you're thinking about the kids, you're thinking about the family. And when you're with the family, with the kids, you're thinking about your plexus business, right? Y'all had month end yesterday, right? So how many of you were on the phone all day, all night? Well, that's what we do on month end, right? I mean, I'm with so many clients doing month end, I'm busy month end. So what are you feeling? What is this tug of war that, man, if I don't build this plexus business, if I don't get this checkup, I'm going to let them down? What kind of energy is around your head? Maybe nothing, maybe something. It's just something to be aware of. It is one of the top fears. Doesn't mean it has to be yours. Don't create these if you don't have them. But if you have them, I want you to think about it. Like, how is this really impacting me? Right, and so what's the solution there? For me, it's always been about communication. The way you talk to your kids and draw them into the goal. Have them be a part of the vision work. Have a goal set, a vision board day where they can help you decide the things you want to do with the kids, the trips you're going to take with the kids. Communicate with your husband if you feel like there's a disconnect between what I'm doing and what he's seeing, right? Again, if it's not the case, it's cool, but you're going to see this in people in your downline, right? So, was married a long time, so I know that the longer we're married, the more we start to think they can read our minds. Well, you know what? They can't read our minds. So if you're really taking the time, if you feel there's an issue here, have you really taken the time to draw out some bullets so you have some clarity, sit down with your husband with some private time, light a candle, have a good glass of wine, quiet, and share with him? Have you really shared with him, if this is an issue, what building your Plexus business is doing for you as a woman? So much more than the money, all right? So much more than the money. Contributing, leading, utilizing our gifts, your talents, your creativity, your inspiration. I mean, so often when I hear people say, wow, I got all these issues, I don't want to let the family down, my husband hasn't been that supportive. I asked them, when was the last time you really had the candid conversation? Like, you may not change the way he feels, and this may not be an issue in your situation, but it will perhaps in the future will be with someone in your downline. And you don't want to get caught in the middle of it. But the advice I always is, look, I'm not going to get in the middle of this, but I can tell you, did you really tell him? Have you really told him as a woman how this is making you feel? It shifts for a lot of people. So this whole fear of letting the family down. Okay, fear of failure. That's another big one. Fear of failure. People are so afraid to fail that they don't act. Okay, they're so afraid to fail. And a lot of this revolves around our type A personalities, which I think many of us are to be successful in this business. And I think for a lot of people, they're just trying to be perfect. And if I can't do it perfect, and if I can't do it well, I'm not going to do it. You're going to fail. You're going to fail every day. I like to think of it as failing forward. Failing doesn't bother me. Failing doesn't stop me, right? If I'm not failing, I'm not trying. I do things new, do new things all the time. When I wrote the first book, when I did the first audio tapes, I'm working on a TED Talk now. I've never done a TED Talk. I'm working on a TED Talk. If I was afraid to fail, it would stop me from moving forward, right? So I don't even think about those things. I just think about service and creativity. That's from a leadership standpoint I want you to think about. When you feel there's something new you're going to do, create something new. Do a Zoom event. Do a new, maybe new business presentation. Talk about a new product, talk about your comp plan or your business in a new way. Whenever you feel, even just prospecting and the possibility of, quote, failing if they're not interested. When you feel, if fear of failure is something you're dealing with, I just want you to think about it as, hey, think about it as failing forward. Think about every failure as a wonderful lesson of, okay, so perhaps that way didn't work, and I'm going to do it this way next time. Right? These are all self-imposed. None of this stuff is real. None of this stuff is real. It's all in our head. And yet it's very effective in slowing us down if we allow it to. So we got all these fears going on. All right. I can't go through the whole list. If you're interested in fears and limiting beliefs, choose to be a champion. It's just something I want you conscious of. And really the bada boom or the moral of the story here is we've all got these fears and limiting beliefs. They're self-imposed. Your awareness of them is what allows you to move through them. You do not have to carry this stuff for the rest of your life. Okay? So some fears and limiting beliefs. Another component of mindset from a leadership standpoint is the whole idea of self-talk. This one topic can be a game changer. I get more messages and more emails after talking about self-talk to leaders. Okay, what are you telling yourself every day? What are you saying to yourself every day? What are you saying to yourself that is not serving you? Right? Are you telling yourself, well, I can't lead, I can't sell, I'm never on time, I've never done this before, I don't know what I'm doing, I don't have the right people? Like, what are you saying to yourself every day that is not serving you? You know, if you listen to the men and women who think about this stuff all the time, they've proven that of the thousands of thoughts that we have every single day, a vast majority of them are the same thoughts we have the day before. So repetition of thoughts, and a vast majority of those are negative. Now, isn't that fascinating? It's not really uplifting, but it's just interesting to me. So if we're aware of that, I try to be really conscious of my thoughts to make sure that they are serving me. So once you're aware of your self-talk, I want you to realize if you're saying something to yourself over and over and over again, you're literally defining yourself that way. So the question from a leadership standpoint is, do you want to define yourself that way? Like, do you want to define yourself as the woman who can't sell, or the woman who can't lead, or the woman who can't be on time, or the woman who doesn't know numbers? Oh, I'm not good at the reports. Oh, I can't do the numbers. I've never been good at numbers. Okay, or the woman that can't pick up new social media stuff. Hey, I get it. Well, there's new social media stuff all the time, right? So 2 months ago, Amy, one of the gals on my team, writes me a note. Hey, you should really be on Instagram. I write her back. What the hell is it? Right? So she gets me all educated on Instagram. So I made the decision. Do I want to do this? And if I'm going to do it, I want to do it on my terms. Okay? So I'm having a ball, but I had to figure it out. Now, I could have immediately thought, oh my gosh, not another social media thing to learn, right? Because we're all going through this together, right? Remember when Zoom first came out? I don't know about you, Stacy. Zoom first came out, like, what? We're going to see everybody? Okay, right? And the first time I thought, we had to be all, looking professional. And then the next one just came from yoga. And the next one I came from the gym too. And I thought, hey, we're just in this together. So, but the first time we did a Zoom, we're like, what? So every month, it seems, we're getting something new with social media. And so what's your head around that? Well, I can't pick that up. I can't learn that. Even Facebook Live. I mean, holy smokes, there's something every day, right? So what are you telling yourself about learning new things? What are you telling yourself about any of these areas? Okay. And really, what has to happen for that tape to start running in your head? That's really, I think, the connection here with self-talk. What has to happen for that tape to start running in your head? And you know that tape. Okay, I'm not good enough. I don't deserve. I can't do this. I've never been good at that, right? What has to happen for you to get stuck, to get paralyzed, to have that tape start running? This is a beautiful thing to start figuring out, right? So that you can combat it, right? And respond a different way. And how did that tape even start? As far as I'm concerned, I'm not an expert in this, but I've given it a lot of thought. I think that tape probably started when we were kids, right? Here's little Leslie. I said something, right? And somebody said something meaning to be positive. I don't think they meant to do it, but somebody said something to knock me down. Said something like, what makes you think you can do that? Or nobody from our family does that. Or don't get bigger than your britches. Or, what a crazy idea. Why would you want to do that? Somebody said something to us when we had a big idea and unintentionally popped that bubble. And as a little kid, we just kind of made up a story around that. Well, nobody in our family does that. Well, what was I thinking to do that? So-and-so, who I respect, said, what am I thinking? So, okay, what was I thinking? Well, I'm going to think smaller. So here's what I learned. I read this really fascinating book. Here's what I've learned. We all have this stuff going on in our head. And like I said, it usually happens somewhere when we were young. And we've been telling this story for so long, it's not even a story anymore. We've been telling this story so long, it's our reality. And so I read in this book, and it just really resonated for me, is that, you know what, I could look back on little Leslie and know that she responded to the best of her ability, right? But here's the thing. I don't have to be her now. And that was a big aha for me, right? I started responding a certain way at 5 or 6. It served me well then. And I had to really sit back. Is it really still serving me now? Sometimes yes, most cases no. So I can love her, respect her, admire little Leslie, but you know what? I'm 57 now, and I'm not her. And now who do I want to be now? And when those things happen, how do I want to react now? And this comes into play every single day in leadership. Every single day in leadership, how you want to respond. So if you have a good relationship, this type of relationship with your spouse, perhaps if you're thinking, wow, I know exactly what I keep saying to myself all the time. Maybe you ask him, hey, when the next time I say, fill in the blank, I'm not good at this, or I always drop the ball, or I'm always late, have him lovingly call you out on it. Or maybe you want to go to a cross-line friend, or an accountability partner, or your sponsor, or your best friend, or your mother. I don't know. Somebody that to lovingly call you out on it so you can make that shift. Because everything's habit. It's so interesting. Good things are habits, but negative things are habits. Negative thoughts are habits. Negative responses are habits. So it's going to take time for someone to say, whoop, I just heard you say that. So you can say, yeah, man. And then you're going to reposture it, rephrase it. So instead of saying, gosh, I'm always late, quit saying that, unless you want to be late all the time. So quit saying that and start saying, I'm always on time. In fact, I'm early. And make that shift. Or I don't do numbers. I'm great at the numbers. Got the reports, right? Or I can sell. I'm a terrific leader. I'm doing the best I can. People love talking to me, right? So it's that shift in mindset. So self-talk, big thing. If you will give this some thought over this next week, you're going to discover some interesting things that you've been thinking all the time. And it can be a real game changer. All right, another concept around leadership and your mind. I want to talk about what I call your belief bubble. Okay, I don't usually get a chance to talk about this from stage or even at the leader dinners. So this concept of your belief bubble. And what it is through action and achievement, okay, through action and achievement, your belief bubble expands, right? Your belief in what's possible, your belief in what you can achieve, your belief in what you can strive for, your belief in your goals and your vision. So through action and achievement, your belief bubble continues to expand. So for example, you've set a goal, maybe you're Ruby, you've set a goal for Emerald. Once you reach Emerald, that belief bubble expands. Let's take it even earlier to a brand new ambassador. And let's say she sets a goal to get to that silver position. Okay, so now she's just like this bundle of fear and doubt. She gets to silver, poof, her belief bubble begins to expand. And then as she goes to gold, poof, her belief bubble begins to expand. You look at your top diamonds and your double diamonds walking across that stage, I will guarantee you that their belief bubble today is far more expanded than when they started their business. Okay, so if we understand that the only way our belief bubble can expand is through action and achievement, here's the leadership question to sit back and consider. Right now, whatever your goal is, wherever you are, Ruby and above, wherever your goal is, that next level of achievement. Like I know y'all want to be diamond and double diamond, and I know you're going to get there, but what's that next level of achievement? And then sit back and really evaluate your belief level that you can achieve that goal. Now, from a leadership standpoint, for some of you, this is going in one ear and out the other until later today. And you're going to sit back and go, bang, maybe I really don't believe. Or maybe you do believe. But this is something to know, because whatever our goal is, business, life, relationships, health, whatever the goal is, at the very least, we have to believe. At the very least, we have to believe. So if your belief bubble in moving to that next level is not really there. So again, if your belief and what you're saying don't match up, that's really the question to ask, right? So I'm saying I'm going here. Does your belief bubble really match that? It's powerful. I've had women call me in tears. And I don't want you to cry. I just want you to be conscious of these things. And again, we're talking about a lot of heavy stuff here, and we start here on purpose. I start here on purpose. And for many of you, I mean, take some time to drill down into these topics and these ideas. But these are important aspects that once we get them settled in a place we want them to be, then you can move at the pace you want to move. All right, so your belief bubble, it's a really good thing. And then if you have some key leaders on your team, depending on the size of your organization right now, some of your key leaders, not your newbies, this isn't a newbie question, but to some of your key leaders, talk to them about their belief in moving forward, that belief bubble. It's a very powerful concept. All right, 2 more things that I want to talk to you about in terms of mindset and leadership, and they go together hand in hand. Number 1 is this concept of staying even emotionally. Now, knowing some of the challenges that your company went through in the last year, and perhaps there's still some residual, this is very good for you as leaders now. Now, there's a difference between being Pollyanna and ignoring things that are happening that we're not happy. Okay, I'm not talking about that. We got to deal with this shit because that's what leaders do. Well, really what leaders do is we deal with this shit, we come up with solutions. That's what leaders do. Things happen. All right, what's the solution? Okay, but we can't come up with a solution if we're spun up like a top, right? We can't come up with a solution if we're so emotionally spun up we can't think straight. Right? Or we're letting our downline call us up, work us up into a tizzy. So now they're spun up like tops and they're spinning us like tops. So you've all been there. And again, I'm not saying when these things happen like the back office, like I've lived through it. I've lived through back office challenges corporately and as a consultant in the field. I've never seen a company do it well, ever. I'm not saying somebody did. I've never seen it ever done well. It's just there's too many working parts. I'm not sure it's possible, but I do know it ultimately will be fixed and ultimately will be working. So this is just one example. There's going to be a lot of things. New product launch, you run out of inventory. You know, they launch a new incentive and then you can't read your reports. There's always something. And so this whole concept of learning to stay even emotionally. Don't get too high. Don't get too high when things are good. Don't get too low, right? When things are frustrating or somebody quits or somebody betrays you or somebody lies. Okay, so don't get too high, don't get too low. As you are fielding the calls from your downline when something frustrating is happening, or it just could be a gal who didn't make a goal and she wants to call you up and give you all the reasons why you didn't help her make that goal, right? I mean, all these things, we want to have our professional shield up and learn to stay emotionally even. Number 1, it's going to be good for you. So the main reason is it's going to allow you to respond on your terms. This is the leadership aspect of it. When you learn to stay even, now you can respond on your terms. So we're not being reactive, okay, which is something I'm much better at this today through awareness and practice than I was when I was younger. When I was younger, you know, I go at such a fast pace and always have that something would happen to trigger and man, I was just reactive. Bam, that email would go off or bam, I'd be on the phone call or right? And I was very reactive. The whole idea of sleeping on it was never even a consideration. So I'm much better at that now because I've learned to appreciate the fact that something happens. All right, I'm going to come up with a solution. And as a leader, I want to respond on my terms. I don't want to respond emotionally. We're all emotional and everything that's happening is emotional. And many cases when we respond emotionally, perhaps it's not the best answer. And then we got to backtrack, right? So learning to stay even allows us to step back, consider what's going on, have our boundaries if we're being attacked, right, from our downline, if they're upset about something, have our boundaries when we're dealing with prospects, have our boundaries, really setting our boundaries as leaders so that we can respond on our terms and walk through the world, be the type of leader we choose to be. I think this is such an important concept. So learn to stay even. Another example, you sponsor a new ambassador. She tells you she's going to be the fastest one to diamond in the history of Plexus. You get really excited. And I want you to see her potential, right? I want you to see her potential, but I don't want you to get off the charts excited. And then we've all been there when somebody betrays us or lies to us or quits, right? And so I don't want you to get too low, right? So this whole idea of emotional even. And what is a companion to this is what I call professional non-attachment. Professional non-attachment. And again, ladies, I'm not saying any of this is easy. I'm just saying it's worth it. I'm just saying it's really worth it. So professional non-attachment. Wow. We cause ourselves so much stress and anxiety as leaders because we're too attached. We're emotionally attached to the people on our team. And again, I'm not saying I want you to lead well, be there for them, coach, mentor, support, but that doesn't mean we have to take on their burdens, right? It doesn't mean we have to take on their stress, their disappointments. They're not our kids. And in many cases as women, the way we deal with our kids and our family and our friends, as we begin dealing a team, we take on their burdens, and it's not necessary. So this whole idea of professional non-attachment, so that if I'm working with Stace, I'm going to be there for her. I'm going to tell her my truth. I'm going to help set her goals. I'm going to mentor her. I'm going to coach her. And yeah, there's some, personal stuff that we talk about, but I'm going to set those boundaries to where we're working on Stacy and her goals and moving her business forward. So if Stacy gets disappointed and wants to blame me, or if Stacy decides to quit, or if Stacy lies to me, and Stacy would never do any of this, but yeah, I really should just be making somebody up. Let's remove you, Stacy, and just Susie Q is my example of choice. So if Susie Q does any of these things to me, when I am professionally non-attached, I can still lead and coach and mentor and respond, but not pick up the burden. I hope this makes sense, because the converse, the attachment, I think is what slows down a lot of leaders or makes it impossible to set boundaries. And so you are picking up all that emotional baggage from your downline that's really not part of the contract, unless you want it to be. And as you get more successful, as your organization gets to the size you want it to, you can't carry all this baggage of everybody. So this is a solid leadership concept, professional non-attachment. Yeah. If I had to sum up the attachment too, a lot of times we feel that that their success is our responsibility, right? So if I sponsor Susie Q, now I'm responsible for her success. Got to train her, got to coach her, got to mentor her. Like, her success is in my hands. How many of you have ever felt that way? We feel responsible. Yeah. Aubrey, this is what I've come to learn. We're not responsible. We're not responsible. They are. Right? Like, look at the people that were invited to this course. Most all of you who were invited came. A few people didn't. There's different reasons why. And it's really not about being in the course or not being in the course. It's you made the personal commitment to be here to invest in your learning. No one had to kick your ass to do this. You took responsibility. When you make your calls, when you reach out, when you ask for the order, as you network and prospect, nobody's making you do that. You're taking the personal responsibility. Now, if you all look upline, you have some sponsor or upline mentor who's supporting you, but they're not responsible for your success. You are. So if you're thinking, yeah, well, that makes sense, I'm responsible. So turn it around. Throw that mirror out now to your downline and let it go. You are not responsible. You are giving yourself self-imposed stress and anxiety that's not necessary and is not really serving you as a leader, right? You can carry that stuff when you're a wannabe and a newbie. You aren't new leaders anymore. You aren't new leaders anymore. So not only are we not responsible, there's a great phrase I heard years ago, and perhaps you've heard it. Okay, I'm not looking to motivate people. So as a leader, I'm not looking to motivate people. I'm looking for motivated people. Like the first time I heard that, I thought, wow, you know, this is awesome. I'm not looking to motivate people. I'm looking for motivated people. Big difference. Big difference. Post that in your office. I was always in my office. Or for those of you that work on a desk, and I'm going to do this with my new desk. Okay, I did have this for years, and then I lived in a place where the desk, it wouldn't work, but it can work again on this desk. I always put a piece of plexiglass on top of my desk, a thin piece of plexiglass. And if you decide to do this, it's not expensive. You tell them to round the corners. Yeah, I learned that the first time, right? You don't want sharp squares. Tell them to bevel the corners and have it just fit on your desk. And what I did is I would slip under the plexiglass quotes, pictures of things I wanted, goals. I mean, under my plexiglass was just all sorts of fun stuff. And of course, so you're looking at it every day because it's on your desk, right? So I love this stuff. And to me, like if it went under the plexiglass, it was happening. Or if it went under the plexiglass, it just kept these thoughts front and center. And so where my desk is situated, in my old house, I had them all on my wall because I was right near a wall, so I could look at it all on the wall. Well, now I'm kind of in the middle, so I'm going back to a plexiglass. So I like to look at these thoughts that help me keep my head in the game, right? So a great one to have in your office. I'm not looking to motivate people. I'm looking for motivated people. That's a game changer in itself. Okay, so all these concepts of personal development. So what's the solution? Like I said, none of this is easy, but it's all worth it. Okay, the solution for all of this is the commitment to personal development. And now more than ever, as Ruby and Hire, going into a new year, it's going to be a big year for your company. It's going to be a big year for your business. If you took any piece of advice from me, like let's just say at the end of the 6 calls, I told you, out of all the good stuff you heard, you only get to take one piece of advice. Let's just say I said that. You only got to take one piece of advice. It would be this. Like of all the good stuff I know that we're going to be talking about in the future, it would still be this. Your daily commitment to personal development. 15 to 30 minutes every day of reading and get your head in the game. Do not underestimate the power of this. This is why I read every morning. I'm not perfect. I don't claim to be perfect. I'm not trying to be perfect. I'll tell you right now, I'm committed to keeping my head as positive, my thoughts as positive and joyful and happy as possible. Life is just more enjoyable that way, right? And we all deal with people all day long. We all give all day long. This is our business. This is what we've chosen to do. This is our work in the world, especially for those of us who give as a living, right? Coaching calls, prospecting calls, reaching out, talking to new people, creating, the writing, right? All this stuff. Get your head in the game. Now, when I talk about personal development, okay, let me tell you what I'm talking about. And then I can send a list of books to Stacy, and she can post it on the Facebook page if I haven't already. I can't remember if I did. I have a library of my favorite books. So I'm not talking about spiritual books, although I read spiritual books, and I want you to read spiritual readings, and that's important. That's not what I'm talking about here, though. I'm not talking about books on leadership. Oh, it's great to read books on leadership, but I'm not talking about that here. I'm not talking about books from people in the industry who went from zero to top of their pay plan, although those books are very inspiring also. I want you to read those, but what I am talking about are the type of books that are going to get you to think about you and your head and your thoughts. And again, what has to happen for you to get stuck? What has to happen for you to quit? What has to happen for you to get paralyzed? What has to happen for you to start doubting yourself? The more you understand yourself right now at this stage of your career, this stage of your life, the better it's going to serve you as you move forward in your business. Because again, for those of you, when I came out to Raleigh, what did I say first thing in the morning? You can have a clear vision. And we talked about this at the leader dinner also. You can have a clear vision for your Plexus business, and in any area of your life, you can have this clear vision and you can learn what to do to bring that vision into reality. But if your head's full of limiting beliefs, if you're stuck, if you're paralyzed, if you're not moving at the pace necessary, then what's really the point? So my reasoning is it's the mindset that's the most important, right? Get that head in the game so we act, so we find the courage to act on our terms, so we don't let fear stop us. It's just, I think there's a lot of reasons why people don't reach the level of achievement they want in direct selling. I'd have to say mindset and lack of accountability are probably and lack of discipline. If I had to pick my top three, I'd say mindset. They don't have their head in their game. They're not committed to personal development, so they're not figuring themselves out, so they're not changing their actions, and so things don't change. Lack of accountability. Right? So many people come from work. So they had a boss, and the boss said, hey, Susie Q, you do this, you get to keep your job. So because we don't have a boss, and because we don't report to people, because of this lack of accountability that's inherent in being an entrepreneur, I think this is another reason why people don't reach a certain level of success. Because since no one's kicking their ass, they don't have the discipline to move forward, which is why I think number three is lack of discipline, right? And it's that lack of discipline that keeps people from moving forward. Like, I'm big on discipline. I am big on discipline. I'm highly disciplined. I'm highly disciplined on purpose, though, right? The discipline to act, the discipline to follow through, the discipline to do the things that scare me, the discipline to have a vision and work towards it. And I think discipline falls in all areas of our life, not only from our business, our health, our friendships, our relationships with our family. So kind of went off on a little tangent there with those three things, but I think it's a good tie-in for what we're talking about. So your commitment to 15 to 30 minutes a day of personal development reading. Now let's just say you make that commitment. Not everyone's for a big goal. So I'm not going to say, okay, for 2017, do this every day. That's too big a goal for most people. What if we just said between now and the end of our class? So start the habit. Between now and the end of our course, 15 to 30 minutes a day of personal development reading. I will send my library to Stacy. She'll post it on the Facebook page. Pick a book, any book. Pick a title that resonates with you, an author that resonates you, and start reading. And it's just like exercise. If you miss a day, whatever, you start doing it the next day again. You just pick it right back up. We're not perfect, right? So here's what I've come to believe why the personal development plays a role. You look at your direct selling business. And we could look at your whole life, but let's just look at your Plexus business. And then I want to open it up for some comments. Look at your Plexus business. Okay. Unlimited potential is available for you. That's how I see it. This is not small change, like unlimited potential. Sure, the company's having some hiccups now. All companies have some hiccups. I can tell you about hiccups when Immunotech started. I can tell you hiccups with RNF. I can tell you hiccups with any company that I'm working with. It's just what happens, right? It's called business growth, right? And then those ambassadors that ride through the hiccups, you're going to be those first millionaires walking across the stage, right? And you deserve to be. So we can't let short-term hiccups stop us. So again, your ability to keep that vision is so important now more than ever. Now more than ever. All right, ladies, a lot of stuff on mindset. So this is what I want to get in the habit of doing. I want us to get in a rhythm of sharing takeaways at the end of a class. And in future classes, I'm going to stop in between. I'm not going to go the whole 50 minutes like I did today, but I just wanted to get the stuff on the table because it's so important. Well, how about we go around and everybody share a takeaway from something they heard today. So Stacy, you've got the controls, but just give me your first name and I'd love to hear some takeaways.
Okay, so I'll go ahead and start, and then as we go through, if you just want to unmute yourself, I really like that belief bubble, how the bubble gets bigger and bigger as they see more action and as time goes through. I have a brand new Silver that's got so much belief and excitement, like she's about to burst already, but just kind of seeing how that belief grows in them. So I really liked that whole imagery.
Excellent. Okay, because I can't help myself. So this new silver, congratulations. All right, so what is the written timeline for her to be gold? Have we set that yet?
We are working on fast track gold. She did it in 4 days, so we're working on fast tracking her.
Excellent. Bam. Congratulations. Okay.
Awesome. I'll go next. I really liked when you said the different aspects of a leader, because I have a tendency to be Pollyanna a lot, because there's nothing that we can control with Plexus. So it's not like we can run out and fix it. So I'm super Pollyanna to the point where Stacy knows, oh, I'm not going to come to you because you're just going to give us roses and blah, 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 and we don't want to hear it, you know? So, my question actually to follow up with that is, how do you make them know that you hear them and you understand and you feel the same way, but there's nothing that we can do about it, so let's just move on?
Okay, excellent question. Hello, Alyssa. Okay, so excellent question. So we don't want to be Pollyanna, because then they don't believe in us anymore, right? So yes, we're having trouble. Let's just say the back office. Let's say we were having problems with getting people enrolled. Let's just use that as an example. All right, so you listen, and then you say, look, I get it. We're all going through the same issues, but here's what leaders do. This is you talking, if you like these words. I would say, well, here's what leaders do. We got to come up with a solution. And even if they're new, I would say, well, here's what I'm doing for me and for the rest of the team. I'm coming up with solutions. That's all we can do, is come up with solutions. So if the issue was we're having problems enrolling people online, what could be a solution? Let's take all the information manually, like the old days. Right? Let's just take all the information manually, and then I'll call it in, or I'll email it in, or, you know, however you guys are working. So you listen, you acknowledge, yeah, this really is a challenge, right? They're working on it. So here's the solution for now. And that's all I can do, is tell them the truth. Here's the solution. That's the leader language. Yep.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah, we don't want to be Pollyanna, and we don't want to ignore what's going on, and then we can't just cheerlead them through reality, whether they're having a challenge with their downline, whether they're frustrated because someone told them no, whether they're dealing with the back office issues. Like, these things are real. So we listen for a brief period of time. You're not their shrink, Alyssa, so we're not going to listen for, 30 minutes. We're going to listen and then say, okay, I understand you, all right? This isn't fun for anybody, but there are solutions, because let's hold your plexus dream in place, right? Like, keep bringing it back to their why. You want to get out of that job you hate. You want to pay off the debt. You want to get to Emerald. You want to get to Ruby. So hold it. We're still going to make that happen. So let's come up with solutions. Let's focus on what we can't do. And that's leadership, and that's a posture. That's a good one. I normally ring bell.
I'll go next.
That's a good one. Get the bell.
Okay.
All right. So,
I'm echoing.
Who's next?
Can you hear me?
Hi, Lynn.
Hey, I'm echoing for me. I don't know if I am for you or not. But, I love what you said about you defining yourself by your self-talk. It's defining you, and that was. I don't want that. Because I want to be solution-minded, I want to, again, what you said, commit to keeping my thoughts positive. So that's something I'm really get up every day and focus on really making to go through the day.
It's going to change your life. And again, we're not perfect, and things happen. Remember, negative thoughts that we've been thinking for 20 years, 30 years, 40 years, however old we are, aren't going to change in a day, but they change through effort. But isn't that interesting to realize I am defining myself? And do I want to be that woman? That's the question. Do I want to be that woman? In many cases, you're going, yeah, I do want to be that woman. But some cases, we're thinking, you know what? I don't want to be her anymore. Yeah, that's a good one. Knuckle bump for you, Lynn. Nice to see you.
I'll go.
Okay.
Nobody will take mine. Okay, so I heard a quote this morning that really resounds with what you're saying. It was something to the effect of, if I don't have the words, then I'm not reading enough. And I love what that says, because I'm terrible with professional development, just making the time to do that and to read those books. And I'm not going to be able to disseminate a positive mindset if I'm not filling my mind with that. So I'm going to do your challenge. I'm going to make myself do the 15, 20 minutes a day for this course and see what that does for my ability to speak hope and life and positivity into my team, because I think that that's very important.
It is. So Aubrey, I applaud your challenge. Now, they pay me to listen. So what you said, what I heard you say was, I am terrible at that person.
I know, but I'm not going to do that anymore.
Okay. So listen to that. So now it's like, wow, I fully embrace personal development. And then you say, I'm going to make myself, okay, so, more common, we hear people say, I need to sponsor more, or I need to do that reading, or I need to talk to more people. Think about changing that word need to choose. So instead of, I'm going to make myself do that reading and see what happens, I choose to do that personal development reading because I deserve it. You see the difference in the energy of the words? Yeah.
I need it. I'm going to do it.
You choose to. Watch the word need. I try, and I point this out to all my clients, so it's not just you, and everyone's going to do it, and I do it. I try to really not use the word need in that way. It's a choice. I don't need it. I'm choosing to do it. Yeah.
I choose.
Yeah. People need diet, I'm telling you. Okay, how many people say, boy, I need to lose those last 10 pounds? If they even just, the mindset of, I choose to lose these next 10 pounds, I think they'd all do it. But that's a whole other conversation for another time. Okay, we're 8 o'clock. I have time for one more takeaway. Oh, this class is so good.
I was just going to say, I'm starting to read the book, What to Say When You Talk to Yourself, with a group of my leaders. So I cannot wait to see what that book will do at the same time as this leadership course does.
Oh, Steph, and you bring up something good. First of all, it's a wonderful book. And number two, I love when teams have like a book club and read together. Now, here's just a piece of advice, which I know you know as a leader, but I'm throwing it out for the whole group. If you decide to do a book club, you got to remind them early in the morning, because a lot of times people are going to do, instead of their prospecting time, they're going to be doing their reading, because again, I'm in the book club and got to do reading. And so you challenge them to make sure and do their income producing activities, okay, and not be doing their personal development reading during what I always called green time, right? That's during red time. They don't have to get up at the crack of dawn like me, but in those prime prospecting hours, we want them prospecting and not reading, right?
Perfect.
I mean, they're going to find all the easy stuff to do in those prime hours. So it's just something to think about. Great job. And then challenge them. When you come together, ask for a takeaway. You know, what was the takeaway from this chapter? So that the reason we do takeaways is so that we can turn what we're learning, it just allows us to drill down in that lesson a little more. Yeah, great
Leslie,
job.
I had something really quick to say, Leslie.
Mm-hmm. Hi, Lindy.
Hi. I'm professionally, I work as a therapist. I've been a therapist for 16 years. So I loved your discussion on professional non-attachment, because that's something that, you know, therapists really have to work on when treating patients. And so, you know, moving a career into direct sales, I've really had to go back and retrain myself on that, because while I have that down professionally as a therapist, it's just a more natural relationship to get emotionally attached in this business with your team. And I've seen it backfire many times, not just on my team, but just, you know, my sponsor, just, you know, friends and people throughout our business. And so one book that I read early on in my career that I encourage patients, some people of my team that I've been helping with this, is about codependency and having that emotional attachment. So just a really good book in case anybody is looking for a book. It's called Codependent No More. It's a bestseller. I recommend it to everyone. I've had patients come back 10 years later with sticky notes still on that book that said it literally changed their life about that concept. So that was a huge takeaway, and something that I'm going to refocus and train myself again in, you know, this career with Plexus that I have found was necessary, you know, as a therapist. So
isn't this interesting, Lindy? You know, for many of us, we come from a career, whatever it was. You come from a therapist. I came from real estate. We come from different aspects, and we've defined ourselves through that skill set, right? You have certain skills and abilities that make you a great therapist, and I've learned that some of those qualities transfer beautifully in support of our new business. And like you say, sometimes we have to learn to take that hat off and put a different hat on. And so this is a really good awareness for you, and thank you for sharing, and for all of us. This whole non-attachment, really life in general, which is why you refer the book Codependent No More to everybody. So whether it's our plexus business, our relationships with friends, families, whatever, you know, we all get so attached for a variety of reasons, and it slows down leadership. From a leadership perspective, I think it puts too much pressure on us for an area that we're not in control of. So I'm really glad to hear you. And you're going to want to learn to take that hat off. You're not their therapist, and you're going to want to be. You're going to want to be their therapist. You're not their therapist. You're your sponsor. Two different things.
right.
Really good. Bam. It's kind of hard to do so early in the morning, but worth it for you. That was good. All right, my friends. So this is what we're going to do. Stacy's going to send out the replay. Here's going to be a challenge every single class. Take what you've learned and put it into action. Be thinking about some of these things and take action. Pick up the personal development book. I'll send Stacy the library, or if you're already working a book, work a book. We're going to come together for our next class. I'm looking for the date here. Our next class is going to be next Thursday, February 9th. Okay, it's a different time. It's at 8:30 my time, 11:30 Eastern. I'll be sending out a reminder notice. Okay, but February 9th, 11:30 Eastern Standard Time. And what we're going to do is we're going to start talking about, we're going to begin this whole concept of genealogy. We're shifting now to skill set from this mindset. I wanted this as the foundation. So we're going to talk about pace, the power of pace, how you can build faster, how you work with your new ambassadors to help them move faster. And we're going to do part one of genealogy, like where are the points coming from? And we're going to spend the next two calls talking about what you have, what to look at with what you have, because the whole idea as a leader now as we go into skill set is, what does it take to drive points? What does it take to drive growth? Where should my focus be, my direction, my efforts? And that's going to be our key focus over the next two calls. All right, I'm excited. This is great. And if you have a topic that you want me to add, or if you have any questions or comments, you can hit reply all. We're going to send out the replay link later this morning. And it's a pleasure. And I'm looking forward to working with each and every one of you as we go into February. I'm also going to throw in some seasonal strategies on our next call too. What is February, and the importance of February as a month in first quarter, and the importance of first quarter. So we'll talk about that next week also. All right, my new friends, have a wonderful day. Have a terrific week. Welcome to February, and I'll look forward to our next call. And Stacy, thanks for running the Zoom dashboard for us. I appreciate it very much.
No problem. I'll post the recording, and the book link is already up. It's in the group.
All right. Excellent. Of course, because you're Stacy. I obviously forgot who I was dealing with there for a moment. So good. All right, everybody. Take care.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Thank you.